So it is mid in the morning here on Live 107.3. Excited as always because a brand new episode of Impact Wrestling has just arrived on Impact Plus. And of course, Impact Plus, the only place to catch brand new episodes of Impact Wrestling each and every week, alongside classic episodes and monthly special events on demand. Speaking of special events, last Friday night there was Impact Wrestling Emergence. So many great matches taking place. Superb one for the Impact World title. Josh Alexander going one-on-one with Alex Shelley, getting rave reviews online. Jordan Grace and Mia Yim all on the line for the Knockouts title. And there were new Knockouts Tag Team Champions crowned at Emergence. Vex, Chelsea Green and Deonna Purazzo defeating Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. And I'm delighted to say I am joined by one half of the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Deonna Purazzo. Welcome to Med in the Morning.
Thanks so much for having me. How are you?
I'm grand. I'm excited to have you here. It's fantastic. And you know, I'm just thrilled that once again, there is gold around the waist of the Virtuosa. How does it feel?
It feels great. Being and winning a championship always feels great, but it even feels a little bit more special this time around because it is with my best friend. It is with Chelsea Green, and it is under the Vexed banner.
I mean, this is it. We're going to talk about the friendship that you have with Chelsea very, very soon. But I mean, some people, not myself. You know me. I mean, I'm a massive fan of yourself, Deonna. But some are saying this tag title win might come with a bit of an assist from Rosemary because of that misting that was going on. What say you to those detractors?
You know what? If Decay, Rosemary, Jessica, and Taya can't get their house in order, that is not mine and Chelsea's problem. If they are not as cohesive as a tag team and can't overcome arguments and obstacles the way Chelsea and I can, then that's not our problem. Maybe you don't belong in the tag team division. And I think that's what we proved on Friday night when we defeated them and won the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships.
It feels so good just to hear you say that. Knockouts Tag Team Champions. It's fantastic. I mean, Vexed is, and this might seem a rather strange question, but I have to ask it because I haven't heard many Americans or Canadians use the term Vexed. Here in the UK, here in Scotland, it is very much a phrase that's used in everyday conversation. When you get angry, when you get irate, but you're not quite at boiling point, you're vexed. How did the two of you come to use Vex as your title, if you don't like me asking?
Yeah, so actually it was a Rachel Ellering idea that when the three of us were in NXT, she approached me and Chelsea and was kind of like, the three of us aren't doing anything. Like, how about we pitch a trios idea? And the three of us, you know, we've been friends for how many years? We've traveled together. We've wrestled each other. We've kind of done it all together. And how about we combine that and be just like this strong women's trio? And we were like, hell yeah, that sounds great. And maybe it gets us on TV. And, you know, in process of elimination, we decided that Vexed was kind of what described the three of us and how we were feeling, especially at that time in NXT. So I think that as time went on, and unfortunately, obviously, it didn't come to life in NXT, but you know, Chelsea and I, just our friendship and you know, our relationship outside of wrestling, VXT just kind of became synonymous with who we were together. And I think maybe because we were doing photo shoots and we were selling merch as well when we were in NXT and all of this was happening, people really gravitated towards Chelsea and I as VXT, now Vexed in Impact. So it kind of just described who we were and how we were feeling and what we wanted to do, take you know, NXT, but now Impact and our Knockouts division by storm, change the game, flip the script, leave them a little confused and not know what happened. And that's exactly what happened on Friday.
It is what happened on Friday. I mean, you are now sitting top of that Impact Wrestling Knockouts division, tag team division. And I suppose the question I would ask is, where to next? I mean, you've defeated Decay. There's an amazing female locker room in Impact Wrestling, but right away, you know what it's like. You've been champions, you've been challengers. Now you have that massive target on your back. Who are you keeping an eye on closely?
Ooh, so obviously, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie are due a rematch.
Mhm.
So we have to watch how that whole situation develops, as bizarre as it is. Have to keep an eye on that. I think that, Tasha Steeles and Savannah Evans have been not in the ring together as much, but you see them around the locker room, you see them at commentary. So you have to think that maybe their eyes are on our championships too. We know that there's, tag teams on the independents. There's someone like Allison Kay and Marty Bell, who were former NWA women's tag team champions that might want to taste some gold again. So I think our head needs to be on a swivel. Like you said, as soon as you're a champion, the target gets put on your back. But I am a 2-time Knockouts world champion. Chelsea Green is a 1-time former Knockouts world champion. So we know what this feels like, and we're ready to take on any and all competitors.
You mentioned, obviously, Alison K. Marty Bell there. Of course, they both have former Impact Wrestling experience as well. We've seen over the past 18, 24 months now, and it almost seems like the phrase forbidden door it's lost all meaning, because nothing's off limits anymore. And Impact Wrestling very much at the heart of that. But I mean, how excited are you as a performer, as a fan, foremost, of course, when you hear about some of these performers that are interested in coming to Impact Wrestling from other organizations to really go up against the best? And really, when we look at yourself and Chelsea Green, you are the best of the best. You've got the goal to prove that.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I've kind of had the opportunity to be at the forefront of this forbidden door for the better half of the last 18 months, 2 years, and I got to take advantage of that by going to AAA, winning the Reina de Reinas Championship, winning the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, being able to defend it in the main event of Dynamite. I really wanted, while I was the Knockouts World Champion, to make this division and Impact Wrestling as a company one of the most coveted and sought after companies in the world and divisions in the world. So the fact that Impact has really become a landing zone and a company that people are seeking out to redefine themselves and to show the world exactly who they are and what they deserve. It feels amazing that I've got to be a part of that. And in this crazy world that wrestling is right now, I think that we're only seeing the beginning of it. I think that, wrestling is secular, and it's going to come around again until we get a point where, everyone's looking to go somewhere and where's the next opportunity. So I'm excited to see who else comes into Impact again. Who might want to challenge for, the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, but then also, Jordynne Grace is our Knockouts World Champion. So who's her next competitor and contender? It can only get more interesting from here.
You mentioned Jordynne Grace. You mentioned you, of course, an amazing run, 2-time as the Knockouts champion. Chelsea Green also been there as well. Does this refocus on the tag division just now, obviously, of which you're sitting on top, does that mean you're taking your eye away from singles action for a little time? Or is it just, as you say, a little refocusing just now? Because how difficult is it? And I mean, I've been a fan of professional wrestling for longer than I care to imagine now, but there's very few athletes can actually do both tag team at the highest level and singles at the highest level for side by side for a continuous period of time. So really, if you're having to make the choice just now, how difficult is that?
It is difficult because, being in a tag team, being the tag team world champions, with Chelsea, it's hard because we're just such different wrestlers. So right now it's finding who Chelsea is as a singles competitor, who Deonna is as a singles competitor, and what we do well together and becoming a cohesive team. Obviously we have just the life experience that make us a tag team. We communicate so well. We don't argue. We've been through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows together. So so we know what all of that feels like, and just how we literally do life together. We do everything together, from walking our dogs to working out. And so I think that now it's just finding out who Vexed is as a tag team and finding those things that we do well together, where it's I'm being technical and she's being wild and crazy, and being the yin to each other's yang. It is what we're trying to do. And we only get to do it out there live for everyone to see. So every time we're out there is a learning experience for us of what we can do better moving forward, and then having those conversations with each other. So it is difficult, but I think that, you know, I wouldn't be the virtuosa if I didn't want to be a master at everything. You know, so as historic as my title reign as the Knockouts World Champion was, all the accolades I have accomplished as a singles competitor, I want to also bring to our tag division now and make that the most coveted division of Impact Wrestling. That's always going to be my goal. And I have no better partner in the world, no one else I would want by my side than Chelsea Green to do it with.
And we are talking with Deonna Purazzo right here on Live 107.3's Made in the Morning. Do not go anywhere. It is Made in the Morning here on Live 107.3 Impact Wrestling. You know, I get excited about it each and every Friday. The wee small hours of Friday morning, it arrives. I switch off all the spoilers. I switch off all my social on Friday. It's the one day you do not find anything from me on social, because I'm avoiding everything till I get home tonight, can sit down with my tea and catch up on what is going on in Impact Zone. And I'm delighted to say I'm joined by a lady who has her home in the Impact Zone, and her home right now is at the top of the Impact Wrestling Knockouts division alongside Chelsea Green. She is one half of the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. I'm saying a very good morning to Deonna Purazzo. Are you still there, Deonna?
I'm here.
Good. I say this all the time. I say this all the time, but I always get panicky when, as soon as I put the Skype button on hold, play a track, and then come back, I'm always scared something happens at that point. But
I'm busy. Bye.
No. We do not want that. We do not want that.
No.
We were talking quite a bit before about the relationship you have with your tag team partner, Chelsea Green. And what I absolutely love is earlier this week, I follow you on Twitter, you shared a fantastic photo then and now, and it shows you back in 2016, the two of yous. And then the now was also with tag titles in hand from last week's Emergence event. How much sweeter does this victory become, because you have been so much of each other's lives over the past, what's that, 7 years? You are friends in and out of the ring. You said before, you are the yin to each other's yang. Just what's it actually like when you were looking at that photo too? And I've got to be very careful how I say this, and I know you're going to take it the right way. To look back at those young girls, and now all of a sudden to be there as the best women in the wrestling world.
It's crazy. And there were so many pictures that I looked through to find how it started was, you know, because we have been friends for the better part of 10 years. We've done everything together and really, you know, bounced each other careers off of each other. You know what I mean? Chelsea in the early days got to go to Stardom. And then I asked her, like, hey, how do I go to Stardom? And she got that emotion for me, you know, when she signed with Impact, you know, I think it was either late 2016 or 2017, you know, I encouraged her, go to the tapings and do the extra work and see what happens. Cause you never know. Like, we have been in each other's corners since day one, since the minute we met each other. You know, and it makes it so much sweeter now to look back. And the photo that I did pick, the two of us, the little mirror selfie, was January 8th, 2016. It was at a TNA One Night Only special. And I actually have a clip that I'll have to post on Twitter of us ganging up on Awesome Kong together and hitting the ropes together and then getting double choke slam together. So it was just very, you know, foreshadowing without us actually knowing where we'd end up and where we'd be. So like I said earlier, there's no one in this world who's been through what Chelsea and I have been through together and experienced together. And we're better for it because we do it together. And there's so far and few between relationships that make it through, especially the wrestling world, with what we've seen and done and been through. So, it's one of my greatest life accomplishments to call her my best friend, but then also to win championship gold with her is just the icing on the cake.
You mentioned there that photo was taken back at a one night only event, which is the type of event you can now go back and watch on Impact Plus. And before anyone else was doing it, Impact was doing it first. It had all female pay-per-views, Knockouts, Knockdown, I think was it back in the day.
Yep.
Do you ever think we'll see, given the strength of the Knockouts division, either another all-female special on Impact Plus, or even, dare I say it, and I'm just throwing out because I know Scott D'Amore listen to this. Hi, Scott. Still waiting for the call to replace Tom Hannifan, but that's another conversation. I'm just going to say, do you think we could even see the Knockouts getting their own weekly show on Impact Plus, given the strength of the division?
Yeah, I 100% think that we will see another Knockouts Knockdown. Last year we did Knockouts Knockdown. 2021, I wrestled Masha Slamovich. She was offered an Impact Wrestling contract that night live, out of nowhere, totally unexpected. And I think that, since Masha has started with us, she's been so dominant. We've seen women like Killer Kelly come in and be so dominant. Savannah Evans has joined us. Chelsea has joined us. Taya has come back. So I think that the possibilities for our Knockouts division are endless. I think that Scott D'Amore, hey boss, is so welcoming to giving anybody an opportunity and creating such a diverse division that always has emphasis on it. So I think that 100% we will see a Knockouts Knockdown come back this year. And then, I think that there's always a possibility to have a weekly show with as many women as we have right now. There's, if there's not 20 of us, then I'm not doing it justice. You know what I mean? I think that there's so many great women and there's so many women on the radar that could possibly come in and just add to this unique, diverse division that we do have, that I would love to see, earn a contract. So I don't know that there's a TV show in our future, but I definitely think we have all the tools to put that in place. Absolutely.
Keep an eye out on Impact Plus. We are on the road to the biggest Impact Wrestling event of the year. Of course, we were talking about Bound for Glory, Friday, October 7th. It is on pay-per-view. You can get it through fight.tv for all the details. Does the feeling in the locker room change on the build to Bound for Glory? Because, we've just came off Emergence. We've got Victory Road coming up next month, which really is on the road to Bound for Glory. But, obviously, it is Impact Wrestling Super Bowl, if you would. It's the one. I'm quite lucky. I've got a pretty flexible job, so I can the big Impact Wrestling events, I always take the next day off, so I can watch it live and I can go back and watch it again. And this year it's even better for me because it's a Friday night into a Saturday, so I'm going to make a full weekend of it. But what is it actually like for you guys as performers building up to this? How is nervous the right word for this for the performers?
Yeah, I think so. I think that if you're going to be on any pay-per-view of the year, you want to be on Bound for Glory because, like you said, it is our Super Bowl. It's our biggest event of the year. So I think that there definitely is some nerves, and I think that everyone's work ethic picks up around this time. Luckily, Chelsea and I hopefully will be going in as the champions, and I've had that advantage, for 3 years now. So it's kind of a waiting game to see, who my opponent's going to be, who steps up to the plate, what's going to happen, because I'm walking in, again, hopefully we're walking in, but as of now, we're walking in as the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. So, it gets nerve-wracking. It gets interesting. Everyone kind of perks up a little bit. And, if they were slacking before, they're not slacking now. So I'm interested to see, who challenges Jordan for the Knockouts World Championships, who steps up to the plate to challenge us for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, who's going to wrestle Josh Alexander for the World Championship. We have a Call Your Shot gauntlet that happens at Bound for Glory. Who's going to win that? The possibilities are endless, and it's just picking up for us.
Friday, October 7th. I'll just say fight.tv here in the UK. If you want to order that, that is how you do it. Deonna, I know you've been very, very busy. Just before I let you go, if I can, I would like to play a round of the name game with you, if this is all right. I'm going to shout out 5 names at you, and I would like to say the first thing that jumps into your head. Are you up for this?
Yes.
Oh my Number one, first name, Gia Miller.
Gia, jack of all trades.
Okay.
Jill of all trades.
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo, I want to say supportive because he just is of all of us, and he's just like a big teddy bear dad figure who mentors all of us. So yeah, all of those words for D'Lo.
Every person I speak to about D'Lo Brown, that's the phrase they come up with, teddy bear. It's like, I mean, oh, okay. The next one, Maria Kanellis.
Badass first lady of women's wrestling.
Okay. Blast from the past here, The Beautiful People.
Ooh, maybe I want to see them return. Challengers?
Okay. And finally, name number 5. This is the first time this name has appeared in the name game, so I'll be interested to see what you make of this. It is the voice of Impact Wrestling, Tom Hannafin.
Oh, I love Tom. The first thing that came to mind was Instagram DMs, because this is a good story. Him and Steve Macklin, my fiance, have been friends for years. They met in NXT and WWE and just have continued that relationship. Steve Macklin is a DM fiend, like memes constantly, videos constantly. He's on his Explore page watching things, and he sends millions at a time to Tom. And Tom is like, I had to turn my notifications off because you're a DM psychopath.
Oh my goodness, that is.
Steve's like, I know, but like now it's funny, so I have to keep doing it.
Oh. Tom always comes across as being so smooth and professional and everything else. Just the thought of him getting vexed is an interesting one to me. Oh my goodness. Deonna, thank you so very much for taking the time to join us here in the live 107.3's Med in the Morning. We look forward to seeing what happens at Victory Road and of course at Bound for Glory. As I say, if you want to catch up with that, you can order it right now, fight.tv here in the UK, and the only place to catch brand new episodes of Impact Wrestling every week alongside classic episodes and those monthly special events is of course at Impact Plus. Deonna, thanks so much for taking the time. We'll hopefully catch up with you very soon.
Thank you so much for having me.